Welcome back, guys. I figured today we'd do a quick little video. It actually started in my head is an update on specifically one item. That's the Rust-oleum appliance epoxy. You know how it hold up through the winter? I think I applied that. Shoot, when did I put that stuff in? That would have been one of the early projects last summer, so close to a year. So how has that held up through a year? I know when we took it camping, we had that appliance epoxy. We had used it on things. And from there, I went in the camper and I was just like checking things, and I was like, you know what? Let's just do an update on how the camper's held up through the winter. I've owned this camper for a year and a half. So the remodel's been done for about 8 months now. And you know, we've gotten through winter. Camping season is here. I'm ready to take this guy out again. Just recently, like last week, de-winterized it. And I figured when I had that idea about the appliance epoxy, I'm like, you know what? Let's go ahead and just do an update on the entire camper. How's it holding up? How are things going? You guys, if you followed along the project, you know everything I did, and you might wonder down the road. Of course, there will be more use and abuse to come, but where are we at right now as we go into this year? So if we walk around the outside is held up fairly well. Not perfect. Actually, I just now noticed that. You know what? Oh, that's a lawnmower. So if you watched the painting video, I stated at the end of it I was gonna have to repaint this thing, and I knew that. And this is the first time I've seen this, but clearly the paint stays on there as long as you don't scrape something up against it. That's not a solution. That's not, you know, a good thing. We mow this area and somebody ran a lawnmower right along it. It's still looking good, but that right there proves that the paint job is something that's going to have to be revisited and done over. I can't leave it like that forever. The lighting, though, everything else about the exterior that I did some, you know, change outs, a vent, all of that stuff has been good. The undercarriage is holding up pretty good. I did get a new tire on it this winter. One of them went flat. And so if we move on into the inside, first thing I'll point out is probably, I feel like I've been, you know, stroke of luck, I guess you could say. So I did not cover this over the winter. We had some snow, we've had ice, we've had big storms come through, high winds. Not one spot that shows any signs of roof leaks. No water on anything, nothing. I think that's the advantage we have with some of these older campers. So if you're going to do a remodel, or if you're going to get into it, maybe it's something to consider for yourself. I'm no camper expert, but this camper has a metal roof. And I believe it's all one piece. A lot of campers now, you know, you see them do those rubber coatings, and you can actually get like a new, it's almost like I don't even know what to call it, like a plastic roof that they put on. I mean, I think it's plywood on top and then like a plastic coating. I think that's why so many campers leak today. I am no expert, but the metal roof ones like this, I don't know about any others. I can't even say they'll hold up. I can tell you that my camper has held up great through the winter. Next thing we'll move on to. Well, I'll mention the sink, the kitchen area first. The countertop that I built, you know, that's plywood, polyurethane, and epoxy, and it has held up great. I mean, it's a little dirty, but it's doing good. No issues there. The sink, when we travel, when we pull this thing, we put these cast iron skillets in this sink, so it's kind of a little bit dirty. It does have some, I don't know, pitting, is that what you call it, where the drain is at? I guess this sink is one of the few things I just kind of let it be what it is, you know, let it be what it is, so to speak. It functions, it looks okay, but it could get cleaned up a little bit, but no major issues there. I want to point out the Moroccan tile stickers. I did not come in here and fiddle with any of these. We've had heat, we've had cold, we've had days already this year above 80 degrees, so you know inside this camper it was probably cooking pretty good. We had winter weather that was down to like negative 15, I think, this last winter. And they all look good. I haven't fiddled with any of them. You know what? That's where the exhaust is. I'm wondering, I'll have to do some investigating, and I want to be upfront and honest with you guys as we do this video. So I would love to, there's so much temptation to hide that and not post that, but I did say, how's the camper doing update. So it's all dry now and it's wet outside today, so it feels like a seam. I know you guys cannot see that, but as I run my hand here, it's like there's a piece of plywood, there's a piece. I don't remember when I made this. I don't think that's a water leak. Oh, that tile just was peeled up just a little bit on that corner. Obviously not a major deal. I don't think that is a water leak. I was about to tell you I think I have a water leak, but now I'm about to tell you I don't think I do. Like, that's not coming up. It's still glued on good. I just think I might have forgotten about that or not. I don't know if I didn't notice it, but I actually think that's a seam. I don't know there. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that. So there may have been some, that's exactly where that exhaust is. And if we pop our head outside, I put that in right there last season. So it makes me wonder if there was a little water that got back there or not. I'm not sure. So we'll be forward and honest with that. Okay, so what originally this video was going to be about, this Rust-oleum appliance epoxy. How's it held up? You know, it has probably been a year now that this has been done. It was one of the first things I did last season. We took this thing camping 3 times. I believe it was on each time we went camping, as far as I can remember. It gets used sometimes here at home, this camper. I know when I was working on it all winter, so if we start, the first thing I used it on was the air conditioner. If you remember, this air conditioner was old and yellow. You can kind of see in there the original color. Every time in the summertime last year I was in here working, I ran the air because it was hot as heck in here. It is what it is. It's a shroud. It seems to be holding up good, as you can tell. I don't have any issues with any of that there that I can see. There were other 2 things I used that appliance epoxy on. The bathtub. Now this bathtub, I did just rinse it out because it had some antifreeze from the winterization just kind of in the base of it. It was just a little dirty, so I just kind of rinsed out. This is where we store our garden hose for filling up the tank when we get to the campground. And so it sits in here all the time. My daughter has taken a bath in here once. I think I took 1 shower, and I can't remember if it was before or after the epoxy. So with that garden hose in here, we have a little scuff or 2. This is dirt over here. That's just dirty. But a little scuffing on the edge. Other than that, I mean, considering we're talking about a $15 bottle of appliance epoxy. Actually, I think I used the paint on. I used like a quart of this stuff for the bathtub, if I remember correctly, but it's the same stuff for both of them, the same exact product. So either way, for a few bucks versus like getting a brand new bathtub put in, it's absolutely worthwhile to me to do that, and it has held up pretty good even though it hasn't gotten like a ton of usage. Okay, so as we move on to the toilet and we check it out, a couple spots it's peeled a little bit. I think that actually peeled on that one when I painted this. I think I got a little ahead of myself and put the lid down and painted the seat before this was completely dry, and it peeled it up. I mean, it's exactly where it was touching. But all in all, for a very cheap fix, it's not perfect, but I'm very happy with this. We've gone a whole season, like I said. I didn't know about the valve in the bottom, how that would hold up. Yes, it has peeled away some of that, but that's literally the bottom of the toilet. Like, where are we talking about here? What's it matter? You see that we have a little bit of water in there. It does drain over time. The antifreeze that I left in there at the start of winter when I came out here to de-winterize was gone, drained through that valve, or that gasket, I should say. But I de-winterized about a week ago, 5-6 days ago, and so that's held water for 5 or 6 days. So the that epoxy, it did not ruin my gasket, which is a good thing. So again, as a small, easy, quick fix, I'm happy with it. And then I guess let's check out as well our shower surround, our shower tile stick up wallpaper. I've seen others try this and do this, and it came off pretty quickly. We went through the whole winter. I have not messed with this at all, and it looks brand new. No issues whatsoever. We have had showers in here. Again, lots of weather fluctuation over the winter. We did not cover this camper or anything like that. It just sat in the driveway, and that has held up great for 1 year thus far. Our floors have held up very nicely. Doing the tongue and groove. It's real dirty right now because it's a little wet outside and I'm tracking grass and everything everywhere. But it's held up nicely. I cannot remember if I made a video about winterizing the camper or not for you guys. But, you know, I was doing all the pecs. I redid this whole camper's plumbing last year. And while I was at it, I took this little piece of potable water hose, you know, put a piece on there, an elbow. It's the same fitting, and hopefully you guys could hear me. I just unscrew this, which is my water inlet, put this on there. So this is going straight into the pump. I put this into the gallon jug of antifreeze, turn on the water pump. It starts filling up, filling the lines. I turn on one by one until I get the pink antifreeze coming out of each line. Close the line up, take that hose off, put the original hose back on. Of course I did the bypass and closed off the water heater. I didn't want that antifreeze in the water heater, and I left that water heater release valve plug open all winter because I didn't want any buildup. And for whatever reason, those water heaters get really stinky if you leave that plug in, even if it's just for a few weeks throughout the summer. When I get home and I'm parked, and I took this advice from a friend, that water heater, I take that plug out, let it drain, never leave that open. I don't ever leave that open. So anyways, super easy to winterize this camper. When I bought it, for whatever reason, there was like half of the tank full of antifreeze and like nothing in the hoses or in the lines. And I had to clean it out. I used some bleach, shook it up, you know, tried to move this thing around, completely filled it like 3 or 4 times and cycled it out. By the way, we don't drink the water that when we go camping. I do use it to wash dishes, and we use it to wash ourselves, you know, but other than that, we bring bottled water. When we de-winterized it, or when I de-winterized, I just got a gallon jug of distilled water, did the same in reverse, put this guy into the distilled water, turned on the pump. I used 1 gallon of water, ran it through all the lines, they're all clear. Doesn't get much easier than that. If you're asking how'd the camper do through the winter, how's the camper doing after the remodel after like 8 months, I think it's holding up really well. I do have one thing right there, the potential water leak. I'm not even sure or not. Like I said, it's wet today. It's been raining for like 24 hours and none of this is wet. So I don't know if I have a water leak there or not, or if that's just because there is a seam there. I may have to go back and watch my own video to see if it was like that when I originally did it, because I don't remember. Other than that, everything's holding up really well. I'm really happy. So that's where we're at. I can't wait to get the camper out and go again. See what I do next. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.